Welcome to My Leadership Coach. My name is Nick Edwards. I'm going to be your guide through this process as we explore what is best for your future. Here's what we know. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has goals. Everyone started off with ideas about who they would be and what they would accomplish and how they would arrive at something better than they ever thought possible. But somewhere along the way, we get caught up in the idea of the here and now. We get stuck in the minutia of every day and we stop pursuing what's best. So I want to guide you through this process. I want to help you to achieve even greater dreams. I want to help you to achieve your greatest goals that you have out there in life and to take the small steps to get there. So here's what we know. You are where you are. You are exactly where you are in life. All your highs, all your lows have brought you to exactly where you are on this very day, no matter what day it is that you're watching this. This is where you are. You have to be honest about where you are if you ever want to be able to move forward. So let's look at this. This is you. And this is exactly where you are. All your highs, all your lows, all your victories, all your defeats, your hardest moments in life have all led you to right where you are today. You know, if I really ask you for your story, you would tell me all the different things, from high school stories to your first business, to what your marriage and your kids and your family and how you got to where you are today. But this is where you are. And in front of you is all the possibilities of the future. That's everything from winning the $500 million lotto. Trust me, if you won $500 million, everything would change for your life. I didn't say it'd be better. I just said it would change. But here's what I know. If this is you and you've been on this path, if you continue to do the exact same things you've always done, this is probably where you will land. And here's what I mean by that. If you eat Cheetos and ice cream every single night, I don't have to be a dietitian. I don't have to work at a gym to know your future. If you max out your credit cards every single month and you don't pay those off, I don't have to be Dave Ramsey. I don't have to be a financial planner. I don't need a finance degree to understand what your future is going to look like. You've been on this path to get you to here, and if you continue to do those same things, this is probably where you'll land. But somewhere along the way, we get to this point that we're tired of the same old, same old. We're tired of doing the same things and getting the same results. And we know there has to be something better for our life. We know there has to be something better for our future, for our business, for all those hopes and dreams that we once had. There has to be something better. And you go, well, that's pretty simple. I just need to get on a different path to this future that I prefer, this future that I want. But here's what I would ask you. Do you know what you want? Most people get in this point of life and they know there's something different, but they don't know the future that they actually desire. Sure, they had some hopes and dreams years ago, but they never solidified them. They never wrote them down on paper. They never said, this is the thing I want to pursue. So if we're going to pursue bigger things, if we're going to go after our biggest dreams and achieve even greater results, we have to be able to identify the very things that we desire for our future. So let's begin walking through this process. How do we go from where you are to the probable future that you really don't want to the preferred future that you truly desire? You see, as a business leadership coach, this is what I do. I guide leaders to greater results. I guide them. This is your dreams. This isn't my dreams. This is your story. This isn't my story. This is all the things that you want to achieve, that I guide you along the way in order for you to be the hero of your story and to achieve greater results. Greater results. You see, we understand that we all want to be perfect, but perfect is always a lie. Perfect is a lie for two reasons. Perfect is a lie because it says, I'm perfect. I've already achieved everything. Look how freaking awesome I am. And that's not fully true. You're not perfect. But perfect can also be the lie of saying, I'll never be perfect, so why try? Me and my wife have this saying that better is always better. Better is always better. And when you identify what you want, you can begin to achieve greater results. you can take small steps to always be better. So if we're going to begin breaking this down, the first question that we have to ask is, what do you want? What do you want for your future? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever seriously considered, what do you want for your life in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? What do you want in your life when you hit 50, 55, 60, 65? What do you want when you hit 30? And how does your life going to look different? If you don't identify what you want, how are you ever going to achieve it? You see, I have this baseball here. And if I said, hey, can you take this baseball and hit this wall? Sure, you could hit this wall. But if I said, no, I want you to be a little bit more specific. I want you to hit one spot on the wall. See, we move from hitting this big possible target to identifying the exact thing that we want. What is that X? What is it for your family? What is it for your faith? What is it for your finances? What is it for your business? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Part of guiding you through this process is helping you to identify key areas of your life that you want to set, not just dreams, but goals. Goals that will actually be achieved at a higher process than you ever thought possible. What do you want? What is the most important thing for you? And as we go through this process and you begin to identify what you want, the second most important thing is why you want it. Simon Sinek, who's amazing, has so many great things about leadership, and he has this book called Start With Why. I think it's so important to start with why. But for me, it's you need to know what you want and you need to know why you want it. What motivates you? What moves you? What presses you forward? What keeps you up at night? And what makes you wake up early in the morning because you have something you desire to achieve? You see, what you want, come January 1st, everybody wants, what they want is what the very thing they want to achieve is maybe to lose 20 pounds for the year. So they've identified the what. What do I want? But why do they want to do it? That's why the gyms are full on January 1st and they're empty by March 1st. Because people don't have the motivator, they don't have the thing that drives them to achieve that goal. So say you want to lose 20 pounds. And for me this last year, I was going skiing with my kids. I was going to be up in the mountains. I wanted to be able to breathe. I wanted to be able to ski for 3 days and not just die. So I wanted to get in better shape. I wanted to get in better health because I wanted to spend time with my kids. You have to know what your motivator is. You can't just have a goal. You can't just have this dream out there that you put on paper. You have to know the thing that's going to move you forward, that's going to burn in your soul, and that continues to drive you. You see, the why is why you wake up. The why is why you do hard things. Because this process to getting from where you are to where you want to be is going to be more difficult than you ever thought possible. It's going to have highs, it's going to have lows, it's going to have moments of defeat and just wondering, how can I continue? Is it worth it? You're going to have someone who betrays you. You're going to have someone who steals from you. You're going to have someone who you thought was on your team and was working against you. And in those moments, you're going to go, I'm not sure it's worth it. I'm just not sure it's worth it. And in those moments, those are going to be the times that you have to decide, is this my dream? Is this my goal that I will pursue with all that I am? Why do I want it? Not just to achieve something, but there has to be something internal that motivates you to really pursue it, even in the deepest, darkest seasons of life. Will you press on? Will you persevere? See, I always say that success is arriving at the desired destination. Well, you have to know what the desired destination is if you're ever going to arrive there. But the number one rule for success is not just identifying it, but you have to get started. And the number two rule for success is you have to keep going. So when things get hard, your motivator, your why, is what allows you to persevere. Will you continue to persevere? So not only do we know what we want and why we want it, but we need to know how we're going to get there. So let's just use this illustration of losing 20 pounds. And everyone wants to lose 20 pounds come January. And they start thinking about it, going, I need to buy some workout clothes. I need to buy some new tennis shoes. I need to go buy a gym membership. I need to change my Kroger click list. I need to start eating healthier. Am I going to go before work? Am I going to go after work? Am I going to have to pick up the kids? Can I go after I pick up the kids? Can I do it during my lunch hour? And before you've done anything, this gap begins to seem too big. And you get overwhelmed with how big the process is. And so you just get paralyzed. You get paralyzed in the process rather than allowing the process to move you forward. This gap becomes too big. So what we must do is take this big and we have to make it small. It's these small steps, this small angle right here that begins to change the trajectory of your life. You don't have to go buy a gym membership. You don't have to go buy new workout clothes. Maybe it's just when you get home from work, you walk to the end of the street and back. Maybe it's for your business, taking one small step to have a little bit of leadership development training for your team. Maybe it's one small step to get rid of that person who's the cancer who keeps killing all movement for your business. You have to begin taking a small step if you're going to take the next step. You have to get started and you have to keep going. But you have to take this one small step first that begins to shift the momentum. It begins to move you in a different direction. So how we do this is we have to dream big, but then we have to take small steps. Dream big, take small steps. Big dreams, small steps, over and over. We can't forget the things we're pursuing, but we have to be willing to do the small things that get us there. I think so many times we forget what we can achieve in a day if we just do some small things. How you arrange your day, how you pursue your day, how you break up your day from morning to your first meeting, to lunch, to after lunch, to how you close out the day, how you close out the week. And if you do small things, they begin to add up. I love doing this with Siri. Ask Siri, hey Siri, how much is a penny doubled for 30 days? I think it's $5.3 million. One penny doubled every day for 30 days. It's over $5 million. But if you do that same thing and you stop at 25 days, it's like $260,000. You have to keep going. You have to continue in the process. It's all these small steps that add up. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, $1.28, and you're going, nothing's changing. But when you start adding those together, it continues to multiply, it continues to get bigger, and you get closer to those dreams and goals that you really, truly desire to achieve. So what do you want? Why do you want it? How are you going to achieve it? And then the last question we have to ask is, who's going with you? The reality is, not everyone wants to go where you want to go. Not everyone desires to see you win. Not everyone will sacrifice to your level because they're not you. But you have to be willing to know who's going with you and who's not going with you. And as you go through this process, you have to raise your standards. You have to raise the standards of who you are and who you surround yourself by. You know, Mom always said, if you hang out with fools, you're going to act a fool. Well, that is true in life, not just because Mom said it, it's true for every bit of our life. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the next one. If you hang out with 5 bums, you're going to be the next one. Who you surround yourself matters. Be at the table where you are the dumbest, poorest person. That's one of my goals, is to sit at the tables where I'm the poorest person there. I'm the dumbest person there, so I can learn how other people think. People that have achieved more than me, people who have gone further than I even thought possible, to sit and to learn. You have to know who is for you and who's going with you. You see, because in this process, as you begin to make this shift and you begin to make these small steps, all these people from your past are going to go, hey, let's go do these things. And they're going to pull with energy against you. They're going to seek to pull you away from the things that you're trying to achieve. the things that you want to achieve that will outlast you, that will be bigger than you, and that will impact the lives of maybe beyond your family, but maybe tens, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people will be affected because you decided to not go after the norm, but you decided to go after the extraordinary. And as they pull, they're going to try to pull you away. And you have to decide, is your motivator and what you want strong enough to keep you going? Are you willing to take those small steps to continue to fight, to continue to move forward? I love what Nick Saban says. He says that we didn't just have great athletes. He said we had great athletes, but what we had was higher standards. Man, think about that for a second. We didn't just have great athletes, we had higher standards. The expectations for what they were going to do, the expectations for who was allowed on this team and who could stay on this team were extraordinarily high. Do you have high standards? Do you have high expectations for the people in your life, for yourself? Are you willing to remove the people who are fighting against you in order that you can achieve even greater results? And this is what I do. This is the part I love. I love coming and walking with people just like you, leaders, influencers, people who are trying to achieve great things and guiding you along this process to help you actually achieve them. Let's stop dreaming. Let's start achieving. Let's begin dreaming bigger and achieving more by taking the small steps. See, one of my favorite quotes is by Tom Landry. Tom Landry says that the leadership is getting people to do what they don't want to do in order to achieve what they want to achieve. No one wants to watch film and do off-season workouts, but everyone wants to win a Super Bowl. And if you want to do what's great, you have to do what no one else is willing to do. You have to push your team. Leaders get people to do what they don't want to do. Are you willing to push yourself? Are you willing to push your team to achieve even greater results? This is what I get to do. I get to partner with you on this journey and guide you along this process so you and your team are better than ever before. It's everything from how you hire to how you promote. It's how you promote your culture and your standards and who you are. Everything about this is who you want to be. You do have a future out here. You do have things that you desire to achieve and things that you want to pursue with all that you are. Don't let anybody slow you down. Let's start this process now. Partner with me. Let me come walk next to you to guide you along this process. You have dreams. You have goals. Let's go pursue them together. Let's see you do things that you never thought were possible. I want to guide you to greater results. Your story, your dreams, your achievement, your story, your life. This preferred future is all yours, and it's all hanging in the balance. And here's the last thing I want to tell you, is this. What happens if nothing changes? What happens if nothing changes? Well, the reality is, this is your future, but it's not who you want to be. So are you willing to make the small changes, to change the trajectory of your life, to not land at the probable future that leads to regret? See, this life is full of people who once had dreams, but they settled for mediocrity. And that is a life of regret. That's not you. That's not who you are. Let's go achieve even greater results. Let's schedule a call today.